In this lecture, we would like to discuss another important national and international issue which covers both legal, social, emotional, with relating to organ transplantation or organ donation, and in that connection we would like to discuss the very provisions of transplantation of human organs and tissues amendment act 2011 and the basic framework of the act was the Transplantation of Human Organs Act 1994. So, before examining the very provisions of the Transplantation of Human Organs Act 1994 and the very Amendment Act of 2011, would like to discuss the background of organ transplantation and its efficient organ transplantation. So, reducing the demand for organ transplantation, which means prevention and control of diseases which cause organ failure. For example, diseases like diabetes, hypertension, alcoholic and non alcoholic, chronic liver diseases, etc. The main program to reduce the demand is the NCD program or the National Program for Prevention and Control of Cancer, Diabetes, Cardiovascular Diseases, and Stroke. Also, dialysis is an acceptable alternative for management of kidney failure cases and also till the transplantation takes place. As also Pradhan Mantri National Dialysis Program is being implemented to make the hemodialysis facilities available at district hospital level. Also, to address the supply side of organ transplantation, we need to improve the organ donation and transplantation activities in the country, as there is a huge shortage of organs available for carrying out transplantation as compared to the number of patients who require organ transplantation. There is huge gap between demand and supply of organs. So there is a need to promote deceased organ donation rather than relying only on living donors because of risks of commercial trading and inherent risk to the health of living donor. Deceased donor organ transplant can be done from brainstem dead persons as well as donation after cardiac death. About 1.5 lakh deaths happen annually due to road traffic accidents. In India, a large number of these cases could be harvested for organs. Organ donation rate Number of persons who donate organs after death in 1 million population in India is less than 1% as in 2019 as compared to maximum around 48 in Spain. Organ donation and transplantation is a government regulated activity in India as per the provisions of the Transplantation of Human Organs and Tissues Act 1994 as amended in 2011. The Transplantation Human Organs Act 1994 was enacted by the Parliament during 1994 and came into force on February 4, 1995 in the state of Goa, Himachal Pradesh, and Maharashtra and all the union territories. Thereafter, it was adopted by all states except the state of Jammu and Kashmir and Andhra Pradesh, which have their own legislations to regulate transplantation of human organs. So now we'll discuss the very purpose of the act is to regulate the removal, storage and transplantation and also why the appropriate authority, registration and regulation of hospitals and the punishment and penalties for the offences committed. So the main purpose of the act is to regulate the removal, storage and transplantation of human organs for therapeutic purposes and to prevent commercial dealings in human organs. The Act contains detailed provisions relating to the authority for removal of human organs, preservation of human organs, regulation of hospitals conducting the removal, storage, or transplantation of human organs, functions of appropriate authority, registration of hospitals, and punishment and penalties for offences relating to aforesaid matters. So also brain stem death is recognized as a legal death in India under the Transplantation of Human Organs and Tissues Act since 1994, like many other countries, which has revolutionized the concept of organ donation after death, after natural cardiac death, only a few organs, tissues can be donated, such as like cornea, bone, skin, and blood vessels, whereas after brain stem death, almost 8 to 9 organs, including vital organs such as kidneys, heart, liver, pancreas, lungs, small intestine, and many types of tissues like cornea, skin, heart, valves, bones, etc. can be donated. So now we'll discuss the very provisions of Transplantation of Human Organs Amendment Act 2011. So, Transplantation of Human Organs Act 1994 was amended in 2011, and the Transplantation of Human Organs Amendment Act in 2011 has come into force on October 1, 2014 in such states like Goa, Himachal Pradesh, West Bengal, and Union territories. Other states who have adopted the Amendment Act till date are Rajasthan, Sikkim, Jharkhand, Kerala, Odisha, Punjab, Maharashtra, Assam, Chhattisgarh, Haryana, Manipur, Gujarat, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and Madhya Pradesh. The amended act is now named Transplantation of Human Organs and Tissues Act 1994 after reorganization of erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir. The present act is now also applicable in the Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh after the removal of the provisions of Article 370 of the Constitution, which was governing the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Other states, namely Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Uttarakhand, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Nagaland, and Tripura, have not yet adopted the Transplantation of Human Organs Amendment Act 2011. The Government of India enacted the Transplantation of Human Organs Amendment Act 2011 that allows swapping of organs and widens the donor pool by including grandparents and grandchildren in the list. So, now we will discuss some of the important amendments under this act to promote organ donation as follows. So, one of them is retrieval centers, near relatives, swab donation, brain death, mandatory inquiry, transplant coordinator, national storage network, national registry, and eye donation. So, the provision of retrieval centers for retrieval of organs from deceased donors and their registration under the Amendment Act, one of the first provision made under the amendment, and the second provision made under the amendment is definition of near relative, which expanded to include grandparents and grandchildren, and the third provision included after the amendment is swap donation or donor exchange, and the fourth one is brain death certification board has been simplified and more experts have been permitted for this certification. And the fifth one is mandatory inquiry and informing option to donate in case of unfortunate event of brainstem death of ICU patient for the purpose of organ donation, mandatory transplant coordinator for coordinating all matters relating to removal or transplantation of human organs is also inserted under the 2011 amendment, and also National Human Organs and Tissues Removal and Storage Network at one or more places, and regional networks are also made in as new provisions under the 2011 Amendment to Transplantation of Human Organs Act 1994. So also another new provision made under amendment is National Registry of Donors and Recipients. Then the ninth provision is regarding removal of eye has been permitted by a trained technician to facilitate eye donation. And the tenth provision under the amendment of 2011 is regarding to protect vulnerable and poor. There is provision of higher penalties has been made for trading in organs, imprisonment up to 10 years, and fine up to Rs 1 crore. And the 11th provision included under the Amendment Act is a greater caution in case of minors and foreign nationals and prohibition of organ donation from mentally challenged persons. So now we'll discuss the rules those were made in 2004, the transplantation of human organs and tissues rules. So the very provision in pursuance to the Transplantation of Human Organs Amendment Act 2011, the transplantation of human organs and tissues rules have been notified on 2004. The transplantation of human organs and tissues rules 2014 has many provisions to remove the impediments to organ donation while curbing misuse and misrepresentation, misinterpretation of the rules. So the following few rules we would like to discuss. And the first one, the rules made to safeguard such measures. So regarding such safeguard measures of the rules, Rule 1 that we would like to discuss. The medical practitioner who will be part of the organ transplantation team for carrying out transplantation operations and not be a member of the authorization committee constituted under the Act. And the second one, when the proposed donor or recipient or both are not Indian nationals or citizens, whether near relatives or otherwise, the authorization committee shall consider all such requests, and the transplantation shall not be permitted if the recipient is a foreign national and donor is an Indian national, unless they are near relatives. And the third one is that when the proposed donor and the recipient are not near relatives, The authorization committee shall evaluate that there is no commercial transaction between the recipient and the donor, and that no payment has been made to the donor or promise to be made to the donor or any other person. And the fourth one is that cases of swap donation referred to under subsection shall be approved by authorization committee of hospital or district or state in which the transplantation is proposed to be done, and the donation of organs shall be permissible only from near relatives of the swap recipients. And the fifth one is when the recipient is in a critical condition in need of life saving organ transplantation within a week, the donor or recipient may approach hospital in charge to expedite evaluation by the authorization committee. And the sixth one is that the quorum of the authorization committee should be minimum 4 and is not complete without the participation of the chairman, secretary, health, or nominee, and director of health services or his nominee. And the seventh one is relating to every authorized transplantation center must have its own website. The authorization committee is required to take final decision within 24 hours of holding the meeting for grant of permission or rejection for transplant, and the decision of the authorization committee should be displayed on the notice board of the hospital and the website within 24 hours of taking the decision. The website of transplantation center shall be linked to state, regional, national networks through online system for organ procurement, sharing, and transplantation. And the eighth one is there would be an apex national networking organization at the center. There would be also be regional and state level networking organizations where large number of transplantation of organs or tissues are performed. The state units would be linked to hospitals, organ or tissues, matching labs and tissue banks within their area, and also to regional and national networking organizations. Such networks shall coordinate procurement, storage, transportation, matching, allocation, and transplantation of organs or tissues, and shall develop norms and standard operating procedures. And the ninth one that included under the amendment of 2011 Act and those rules of 2014 is that a national registry or donors on donors and recipients of human organs and tissues accessible online through dedicated website having national, regional, and state level specific special facilities will come into force. National regional registries shall be compiled based on similar registries at state level. The identity of the people in the database shall not be in public domain. And so, these are the provisions which are enacted under the newly amendment Act, that is the Transplantation of Human Organs and Tissues Act 2011, and the very rules which were made in 2014. So now we'll discuss certain important landmark judgments. So one of them is Dr. A. Anu versus State of Tamil Nadu, and the case was of 2009 decided by the Madras High Court where exactly transplant carried out in the hospital of his choice as covered by no objection certificate validly granted under the Transplantation of Human Organs by the Director of Medical Education and Chairman Authorization Committee for Organ Transplantation. So, also another important leading case is Dr. Ganesh versus State of Tamil Nadu in 2011. The Madras High Court decided by the Madras High Court where human organs first seeks to find a person as per Dr. Ganesh willing to supply for payment any human organs, and it offers to supply any human organs for payment. Removal. As on 18/11/2011, the petitioner had addressed a communication to the chairman of the Authorization Committee for Organ Transplantation. So now we'll go to another important leading case, Jiban Kumar Rao Rawat versus State of Gujarat in 2017, decided by the Gujarat High Court. So, respondents are absolutely restricted from invoking the provisions of Transplantation of Human Organs and Tissues Act 1994 as amended in 2011, as enacted by the central government, as the Transplantation of Human Organs Amendment Act of 2011, as the state of Gujarat has not yet adopted the said new act in terms of the clause. So the respondents are absolutely restrained and restricted. So now we will discuss another important leading case, Sudha Mathisen versus Authorization Committee of the case of 2024, and decided by Madras High Court. It came into force, the very Act, Transplantation of Human Organs Act, it came into force in 1994 in various states on different dates. The statute underwent substantial amendments in 2011 is proposed to be transplanted restrictions on removal and transplantation of human organs or tissues or both if any donor making such donation of such organs or tissues. So, now we'll discuss another important leading case, Dr. V.M. Ganesan versus Deputy Superintendent Police, and it was a case of 2011 decided also by the Madras High Court where from the state appropriate authority, Human Organ Transplantation Act 1994 and the Director of Medical and Rural Health Services, Chennai, submitted the very reason. However, the state appropriate authority, Human Organ Transplantation of Act 1994 can file a complaint against the petitioner herein in the manner known to law. So, now we'll discuss another important leading case. Penmaster Subaraju versus State of Andhra Pradesh in 2009 decided by the Andhra Pradesh High Court. So, commercial transaction in this entire episode, and that as the organ transplantation center, the hospital was entitled to one kidney as per this counsel and motivated towards organ donation. The recipient of the organ, the patient who needed the organ, was admitted into the hospital. So now we'll go to another important leading case. The Madhav versus State of Andhra Pradesh also decided in 2009 in why the Andhra Pradesh High Court. So, where commercial transaction in this entire episode, and that as the organ transplantation center, the hospital was entitled to one kidney as per this counsel and motivated towards organ donation. The recipient of the organ or the patient who needed the organ was admitted into the hospital. And now we'll discuss another important leading case, that is Mithukulla Ittachaya versus State of Andhra Pradesh in 2019 decided by also the Andhra Pradesh High Court where it was commercial transaction in this entire episode, and that as the organ transplantation center, the hospital was entitled to one kidney as per this counsel and motivated towards organ donation. The recipient of the organ, the patient who needed the organ, was admitted into the hospital. So the very core of the facts relating to almost all these cases is regarding commercial transaction. That was the main fact and issue, and that is was relating to organ transplantation center, and so also regarding the hospitals were entitled to one kidney as per transplantation centers. So, these are the very issues which were involved in the above mentioned cases that we have just discussed in brief, as because the details on these leading cases would take a more time, and it would be unwise to discuss in length each fact, issue, and judgment of each cases relating to commercial transaction regarding donation of human organs or transplantation of human organs. So, we discussed the most important or vital legal, social issue involving the medical practitioners in the hospitals, and also regarding brain death, brainstem death, donation of human organs in this particular lecture. So, it is considered as one of the important national and international issues governing legal, medical, and social issues